Just one lone voice in a Democratic wilderness, or will others adopt his strategy as they realize the political benefits of fighting back? Congressman Alan Grayson, Democrat from Florida, joins me live from Orlando. Now, Congressman, let me play you a clip of President Obama, and this is what he said about Republicans earlier, and then we'll see your reaction.
You've got these folks who drove America's economy into a ditch, and now we finally got that car up on the up on the blacktop there, about to drive, and they say they want the keys back. Well, you can't have the keys because you don't know how to drive.
I feel like I've seen him say that a million times now, but is it enough, or do the Democrats need to get much tougher?
Well, the president has a point. What happened was that, as I would put it, the Republicans drove us to the brink of national bankruptcy, and now they want to throw us over the cliff. I've heard nothing from the Republicans, including the gentleman who just joined you, that would indicate they learned anything from their mistakes. 8 years in charge, they left us with a shattered economy. They left us with 9 years of war. They left us with the banks running our domestic policy, with the big oil companies running our environmental policy. They left us with the military-industrial complex running our foreign policy, and they've learned nothing. We have to make it clear to people that there is a choice. I think people understand that. I think people know that there is a choice. But what the other side has been trying to do is, because people recognize that they're crazy, they want us to seem lazy. They want this to be the choice between the lazies and the crazies. So we have to show people that the Democratic Party can deliver, can make their lives better, and can overcome the resistance of this failed ideology called the free market.
But Congressman Grayson, I see Democrats, and especially the president, getting tougher as we get closer to elections, and getting more progressive as we get closer to elections. Is before that, there's a lot of backing down. You back down on Van Jones, Acorn, Shirley Sherrod. Joe Wilson shouts out, "You lie," and the president changed the health care reform plan to take out that provision he objected to. There was a lot of retreat before this attack. Do you think the Democratic Party hasn't been tough enough in legislating and making their case?
I'd like to see us tougher, but in the end, people are going to realize that you got only 3 friends in life: God, your mama, and the Democratic Party. That's it. And don't be too sure about your mama.
Well, I'm not too sure about the Democratic Party either. But, okay, now, some people are saying in Florida that you are in cahoots with the Tea Party, which is a fascinating thing, and that you're helping to get the Tea Party guys elected so it's easier for Democrats to win. Any truth in that?
Yeah. These are the same people who think that Adam and Eve rode on the backs of dinosaurs. The same people.
Okay, so I'm guessing that means no truth in it, according to you. Okay, so now I want to ask you about a very important question. It's net neutrality. For the people at home, I want them to understand this is about whether the phone companies and the other providers can regulate the internet and can slow certain websites down. And that would be very problematic in terms of freedom of speech, etc. Now, you had said that you're for net neutrality, meaning an open internet where everybody is the same speed. But now it seems some people are saying that you're not going in that direction, and that you're opposed to FCC regulating on this issue. How do you respond to that?
No, that's not true at all. Listen, if what I want to see is I want to see statutory protection, the best protection we could possibly get for net neutrality. If I could, I'd like to see constitutional protection for net neutrality. I want to make sure that nobody messes with your internet. And I feel very strongly about that. I have some experience with the FEC. I'll tell you, my experience with the FEC is that Big Tel gets whatever it wants there. I mean, just last week we found out that the general counsel of the FCC was having private meetings with the telephone companies to cave in on net neutrality. That's why I want to see it in a statute at the very least.
But Congressman, if you go to Congress, you know the Republicans are going to want loopholes, you're going to get mired in debate, etc. Why not do what the Republicans did so effectively for their side? Hey, you know what? We're going to change it through executive order, through regulation, have the FCC step in and say, we're absolutely positively going to have net neutrality. Even if you're going to do statute, why not do that first? Because it's easier and gets the job done.
I'm not sure it is easier, and I think that it's more likely they can affect the FCC and do what they want to do through the FCC. Half the people at the FCC used to work for big telephone companies. The other half are going to work for big telephone companies. The FCC is a fundamentally corrupt organization. If they get it done, fine. I'm just a little skeptical.
I'm also skeptical that we're going to get a bill passed anytime soon, so I'm very concerned. But Congressman Alan Grayson,
we have to overcome that. I will say this to you. We have to overcome that. We can't let the Republicans hold the country hostage over something as important as the Internet. We have to overcome that resistance and beat them once and for all.
Well, that relates to our earlier topic, which is you've got to make your case, you've got to push that legislation through, and so far I haven't seen it, certainly on this issue. So we'll see how it develops in the future. Congressman Alan Grayson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good luck with your show.
Thank you. Now, it was supposed to be one of the biggest political parties of the year, but it's now becoming an embarrassment.